Hello and welcome to yet another story from my life. And this time I'm going to tell you how I could get Hindustan Unilever management trainee position. So this was the time in 1981, before the close of 81, when there were campus recruitments happening at IIM Bangalore. I was one of the well-performing students. I could never come first, but I was always the second. And I don't remember exactly, but I must have applied for the Hindustan Unilever position when they came to the campus. Now, the first thing I remember well that I think made it happen to me for me to get to the second round, the next round of final interviews at their head office was that they gave us a topic and put I think about 10-15 of us in a small room in the IIM Bangalore campus and asked us to talk. And they briefed us that we need to discuss and come to some conclusion. And I had not done any practice like all of you do today of a group discussion, but I applied my common sense and the learnings in some OB classes. So the topic was given. I don't remember what it was, but the group started discussing. It wasn't a team; it was a group. It quickly turned into a fish market, and I was kind of wondering. So then I kind of got a little annoyed also, and I stood up and I went up to the board and told, "Hey guys, I mean this is not the way we can come give to some conclusion. Do we? Will we?" And everyone looked at me and said, "Yeah, you're right." So I said, "Then why don't we follow some structure?" And what I suggest is let's define what do we want to discuss, and this is what we want to discuss, and we want to come to conclusion. Now there can be two uh, uh, views, or there can be multiple views. So let's listen to each other's views, talk about each other's views, give everyone a chance to talk, and at the end, let someone summarize. Does that make sense? And the team agreed, and I think that's how they. And I think after that, the group discussion went pretty orderly. So that was one thing that I remember that probably got me into Hindustan Unilever that time. The interview was probably nondescript, non-event, because by the time I had established kind of my leadership quality, and later on it came out that they were looking for a leadership behavior in the group discussion, which without knowing I did demonstrate, and they picked me up. So that was the starting point. As a result of that, I got shortlisted, and then I was called for a final interview at Hindustan Liver headquarters in Bombay. Now, there again, I remember there were multiple rounds of interviews, and the first interview was with the sales director, PM Sinha, who is no more now, but he was the sales director. He went on to become the managing director he was in Pepsi for many years as head of businesses, and then he became managing director of Bata. So he interviewed me, and after the normal questions of asking, tell me about yourself, probably which I don't remember. There's one critical question that he asked me, and I remember that again very importantly. That probably made a difference. He said, "Arun, supposing you are selected as a as a management trainee in Hindustan Unilever, and we post you in your hometown, and you are about to get married, and your father-in-law sees you in the shops, selling surf, cleaning the surf packets, putting them on the shelf because that is what you will be required to do. So how would you feel?" So he was probably checking what are my values and do my values align with Hindustan Unilever's value, and probably born from the raisings of the values that my parents gave to me from my upbringing. I said, "Hey, Mr. Sinha, hey, sir, I would not worry about anything. In fact, if my future father-in-law tells me, I probably will tell him, keep your girl. Because if you do not respect the dignity of labor, I don't need that girl to work with me or walk into my life and stay with me." And he kind of smiled with that. So it was a good answer as I can understand. So I exhibited my values that kind of matched with Hindustan Lever's value of dignity for labor. that happened, and then of course I probably did well, so I was taken to next round of interviews with their advisor Ranjit Banerjee, and got finally shortlisted, and uh, and that ended that round of discussions, and we were sent back to campus. Then after that, it took a while, a few months before the campus the kind of closed. We finished our degrees. We got the graduations, post graduations happened, convocation happened, and we had hadn't heard from Hindustan Unilever. So I was in my hometown, and suddenly I hear from the campus saying that Hindustan Unilever would like to interview now. So it again was a call to head office, and there again it was a final round, which is again there was a GD, group discussion, and in that group discussion again they gave us a real case of a business situation, and again it was a again the fish market happened, and this time it was none of my I am Bangalore colleagues, but it was competing people from all over the country probably. And it happened again, and by now I had learned that I had to cut through the clutter. I had to establish my leadership capabilities. I need to contribute to the situation. So again, I watched for some time, and I heard everyone, and then I kind of said again, got up and said, "Hey guys, doesn't that make sense that it was a case of what marketing strategy should be?" So he said, should we first look at who are the possible target customers and then decide who is the most suitable customers? Because that much I had learned from my professor P.N. Tirunarayan's classes at IIM Bangalore. And that I could see the smile coming across the observers because people were otherwise going round and round in circles. And they continued the group discussion, and finally we many of us were selected for a final round with chairman, and which we knew was more of a discussion. And I still don't remember the final round of with the chairman, but the things that made difference in my selection to, if I were to summarize, and I'd like you to learn from there, is that you must be able to first must know what are they looking for. In this case, I had gathered that they were looking for leadership quality, they were looking for good technical knowledge, they were looking for someone who had the right values, and then you need to demonstrate these values, these knowledge, and these behaviors in the situations that you hear. And here I was able to demonstrate the leadership capabilities that they were looking for in the two GDs. I was able to explain my understanding of marketing in that GD at Hindustan Lever headquarters, and also demonstrate my values that match with Hindustan Lever. So that's the game. So you need to know what are they looking for, and if you don't know, you need to be yourself. The most important thing is to be yourself. Do what you think is right, that is good for the business there, good for the situation, and hope for the best. And I'm sure you would get selected in situations like this, like I did, and made my career there.